Welcome back to my Road to Completion Guide for Control. This is episode 14, and the first thing that we need to do in this episode is farm for source and materials. We're going to need 25,000 source, 20 entropic echoes, and 15 remote thoughts. Now you can see that I've backtracked to the same combat room that we ended episode 13 with, but there's no enemies. Now some of you, when you get here, there's going to be some enemies. If you see the enemies, no problem, just start farming. But for some of you guys, there's not going to be any enemies at all. I'm just showing you here exactly what you should do. Run around the area, see if you can get them to spawn in. If they don't, quit to your main menu, go back to that room. Keep doing that, guys, until they spawn in. Eventually, they will be here, and then you guys can start farming. Now, if for whatever reason these enemies do not show up for you guys, let me know down in the comments. I did record this footage about 30 or 40 days after the game's launch. So some of these areas might have got patched out or something like that. Who knows, right, with these patches. So let me know as soon as possible so I can direct you guys to a new farming route. But every time I practice this, they ended up being here for me. Remember, you're going to need 25,000 source, 20 entropic echoes, 15 remote thoughts. If I do have to find you guys a new farming route, make sure that you read my pinned comment down below, because that's where I'll be telling you guys where that new farming route will be. Let me also make you guys aware of this. Notice that I have two enemies in the room. We got one enemy, he has the rocks around him. He's got an overshield. Then the second enemy is a normal guard, but he also has an overshield, but he usually doesn't drop good stuff. The enemy with the rocks surrounding him, he always drops the best stuff, okay? Remember, we can't kill both enemies, we can only kill one. So if you have this set up, you want to focus on the enemy with the rocks, kill him, and then of course quit out and continue. The issue is this. On one of my practice attempts when I came into this room and I finally got the enemies to spawn in, the enemy with the rocks was not in the room at all. I actually had to fight 4 enemies, 3 on the lower platform, and there was an enemy up top who was a sniper, and they did drop the materials, the entropic echoes and the remote thoughts, but they did not drop them as frequent as the rock enemy. So that just meant that I had to farm for the materials a little bit longer, and that's it, guys. I just wanted to make you aware of that, because if the rock enemy is not in your game like you're seeing in the gameplay here, you guys might get confused, okay? So if the rock enemy is in your game, it's not going to take you as long to farm from the materials. If he's not in your game, it's going to take you a little bit longer. Once you guys have all those materials, let's go ahead and upgrade our Shatter shot so we can get credit for weapon form number 2 of 3. And then we're going to head over to another location and farm for some more materials. So I want you guys to fast travel. You'll see that there. Just go ahead and fast travel over to the ritual division. And then I want you guys to farm for 20,000 source, 20 intrusive patterns, and 10 astral blips. Now I'm showing you here that I already have enough materials to upgrade Shatter for the 3rd time. I actually don't have to farm anything at this point, and that might be the case in your game too if you've been picking up everything along the way. But if you don't have the materials to upgrade Shatter for the 3rd time, I want you guys to run into the lab. Now you're going to see that if I don't go far enough into the lab, the enemies will not spawn in. See how I stop here, I run back in, no enemies. You guys see that? But watch what I do at this point. I'm going to run back into the lab, go all the way over to the far wall, then run back into the ritual division, and the enemies will show up. Now, just like with the last farming route, if these enemies do not show up, quit your game, continue back in, run back into the lab, rinse and repeat, guys, until you're able to get these enemies to show up. But this is where you're going to be able to get the materials that you need to be able to upgrade Shatter for the 3rd time. Remember, we're looking for 20 intrusive patterns and 10 astral blips. Now, if you guys decide that you don't want to farm for these materials here, just continue to play through the game. Kill the enemies as you come in contact with them. Pick up all their materials. By the time you get to that final control point, you should have plenty of upgrade materials to upgrade Shatter for that 3rd time and pick up the trophy then. So if you decided to farm for the materials now, let's head back to the control point. I want you to head down to Astral Constructs. Go into weapon forms. Let's go ahead and upgrade Shatter for the 3rd time. That's going to give you guys the trophy non-standard issue. Once you guys have done that, we can fast travel back over to logistics. So at this point, we need to take a left. We're going to go into the next room. There's an NPC that we need to talk to. Then we're going to be picking up another side mission called A Matter of Time. That's going to take us back to the Oceanview Motel, and I'll show you guys how to solve that puzzle when we get there.
What?
I don't, but you got it. We were me and he was right. Please, I'll be rude.
But
Just I should get sorry.
So in order to make it through the Oceanview Motel this time around, we need to ring the bell. That's going to start the clock spinning, okay? Now it's going to spin to a random time, so don't focus on my gameplay here because the time that you have in your game is going to be different from mine. Mine says 3 o'clock. I'm going to go into room number 1, and I'm going to make the clock in that room read 3 o'clock. All you have to do to get this clock to start spinning is hit square, and then when you want it to stop, press square again. So all you have to do is repeat this process for the other 2 rooms, and then the key you need, you know, the one that opens up the upside down triangle door, will be over here on the check-in desk to the left of the bell. Once you guys pick that up, go ahead and exit the Oceanview Motel, and I'll see you guys on the other side. So now we have a very small combat situation that we need to deal with. After that, we're going to have access to another control point. I want you guys to go ahead and cleanse that control point. That'll be number 21 of 25. And then we're going to talk to the same NPC that we talked to earlier so that we can continue working on the side mission, A Matter of Time.
are you?
I did it.
What?
Let's go.
What's with the clocks?
Russian. This used to be where your office went. That's O'Neill. Shit.
So after you guys wrap up this combat sequence, go ahead and hop into the clocks. And then you're going to see a red glow, and I'm going to show it to you here in a second as soon as I shift camera left. There it goes. See the red glow? That is the Japanese paper lantern. And if you guys remember, that is the last item on our list of things to hunt down for Langston. So go ahead and destroy that barrier. When you guys are done, make sure you cleanse that Japanese paper lantern. And then we're going to move on to our next control point. This will be control point 22 of 25.
Wasn't so bad.
Alright guys, I want you to notice what happens here. See how I just came off that control point? I'm heading down the hallway. I've got boxes. I'm ready to throw stuff, kill enemies. I'm rushing through this building, okay? This is something you guys do not want to do. I don't know if this has been patched since I recorded the footage, but if you rush through the building after that control point, the NPC will not follow you. We need him to follow us because he's got the clearance 9 key, and we have a door coming up that's locked, okay, and he has to unlock it. What you want to do is as soon as you come out of that control point, take your time, let him catch up with you, and that way you won't run into this problem. Now I'm showing you here that even if you backtrack and find him, he's probably not going to notice you, okay? I'm going to transition here and show you that you have to have him to get through this door. So if he's not with you when you get to this door, quit to the main menu, continue back in, and that should have him spawn near the control point. Then you have to talk to him one more time. And you could even see there that he tried to walk away again. So you have to be careful about that, guys. As you proceed toward that clearance 9 door, you have to periodically turn around and make sure that he's still with you, okay? As soon as we're able to make it through that door, we have another boss fight coming up, and I'll hop back in with commentary once we get there.
Come on. The motel port is on the other side of logistics. Horowitz should still be there. Let's go. Hold on. Something's wrong with him.
Shit.
Horowitz. Oh, God, no.
Alright guys, let's talk about this boss fight. So he has the ability to damage your character extremely quick, okay? Notice how much health I have right now. Now watch this. As soon as I peek out of cover and get too confident, notice how much health he takes off. It's extremely fast. See that? Now the problem is all the health is over there where he is. So we don't want to lose any health because we don't want to be forced to go to the other side of the room to get health because then he might kill us. So notice what I'm doing, guys. I'm launching and shooting at a distance behind the column. I'm using the column for cover. See that? And I'm making some really safe plays here. Now this enemy will rotate around the entire room. All you have to do is be on the opposite side of the room. There's columns on all four sides. Use those columns for cover and do damage, guys. And that's the only thing you have to do to get through this boss fight. Now, as he rotates, you guys can rotate behind him and pick up the health. You see what I'm saying? So that's the way that you guys can recover health if you need it. But that's pretty much this entire fight, guys. It's kind of simple when you look at it in that aspect. So enjoy the gameplay, and I'll talk to you guys on the other side. So after you guys kill that boss, I want you to talk to the NPC again. We're going to have some dialogue. As soon as the dialogue is over, you guys are going to get credit for completing your side mission, A Matter of Time. That's going to be side mission 6 of 15. And then you're going to automatically pick up a new side mission called The Enemy Within.
I'm sorry about
Alright guys, let's backtrack to our control point. Once you guys get there, I want you to fast travel to a location called Sealed Threshold Corridor. So we're going to be wrapping up this episode with the boss fight, okay? We have to defeat the anchor, and once we do that, we're going to get a trophy called Living Archetypes. That'll be your 33rd trophy out of 47. We're also going to be wrapping up the side mission that we just picked up called The Enemy Within. That's going to be your 7th side mission out of 15. We have a few combat sequences to get through before we make it to the boss, so enjoy the gameplay, and I'll come in with commentary and tell you guys exactly how to defeat the anchor.
This is the safe room Will showed me. The one with the altered item inside. Great. More clocks.
So this is the anchor. Now let me explain to you guys how this room is set up and the mechanics behind this boss. Notice that we're on a platform. We have a platform to the left, one's off in the distance, and then we've got one to the right. I don't know if I show it or not. Okay, I do. Nice. Good job, Exonovit, for showing that. So 4 platforms, okay? Now the boss is gonna be in the center floating, and he's gonna constantly rotate around and face one of the platforms and open up his mouth. When he does, you're supposed to do damage by throwing something at his mouth or shooting him, and then of course if we do that enough times, he dies. Now here's the catch. If you don't put some damage on this boss, as soon as he opens up his mouth, he's going to spit a projectile at you. It's going to do a lot of damage and you're not going to be able to see for a few seconds. So what you want to do is wait in one spot like I'm showing you guys here. See how he opens up? I throw immediately, do some damage, then I'm just going to wait for him to cycle back through to come back to me. I'm not going to chase him around this room trying to predict when he's going to open his mouth and which platform I need to be on and all that kind of stuff. Notice right here he's going to spew stuff out of his mouth. You don't want to get hit with that while you're trying to float around this room. The last thing you want to have happen here, guys, is fall off the edge. Gravity is going to be your worst enemy at this point, not the boss. Now another reason why you want to stay in this spot is because eventually he will start tossing enemies at you guys. And remember, every time you kill an enemy, they drop health. So we want all that health coming to us. Now it is possible to kill the enemies as soon as they spawn in, and I would encourage you guys to kill a few of them, not all of them, because we do need some health for this fight, just in case you guys get hit. But we don't want all the enemies coming over here because we're kind of at a dead end. You know, there's a barrier behind us. We can't move any further back into the map than this, okay? So kill a few enemies, look at your health. If you're super low on health, then you want more enemies coming over here. If you have a lot of health, maybe you just want 1 or 2. See what I mean? Stockpile you some health for later, okay? See how many enemies there are? So you have to kind of judge that based on what's happening in your game, how comfortable you are with this sequence, and how much health you have. But that's really the gist of getting through this fight. As soon as you guys are able to wrap up this fight, go ahead and interact with the anchor. That's going to give you the Living Archetypes trophy, and you guys are going to be able to wrap up the side mission, The Enemy Within. And that wraps up this episode, guys. I'll see you in episode 15. Be good.
No wonder the Rangers had such a hard time with that one.